Hello guys, here with a new video for the channel. I hope you like it, and if you like it, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now without further ado, get comfortable. Let's begin. Millions of years ago, when the 18 universes still existed, the most powerful goddess of the 18 universes, the most powerful goddess of destruction, being also called the Megaversal Goddess, felt in love. All the gods, mortals, and even beings of great power can feel this feeling. The destructive goddess of the universe, 16 Ceres, realized this. The goddess possessed incredible destructive power. Being the only goddess to beat up the great priest one day, said goddess was wandering all over the world of the 18 universes, where it would make a stop in universe 7, to be more exact, on the planet Vegeta of the Saiyans. The goddess incredulously remained watching how these mortals fought arduously to increase their powers a little more. However, the goddess Ceres was doing it much more frequently. I must stop observing the mortals of this universe. They're not problems that concern me. At that moment, the goddess, being caught off guard, an energy attack was directed towards her, since the Saiyans were training. However, before the attack hits her, Bardock would stand in front of her. Receiving that powerful attack, the goddess Ceres was surprised how a Saiyan, without knowing her, gave his life for her. Why did you do it? The power was not going to make a scratch on me. I don't know, but I had the impulse to save you. Bardock would be knocked out. The Saiyans would approach and wanted to take him to a recovery machine. However, Ceres would refuse, and she would take him to another place, curing him with his great power. When Bardock woke up, he would not recognize where he was. Where am I? What happened? I remember. How was that girl? Thank you very much for worrying about me, but I'm fine. Apparently all your wounds have been already healed. Bardock and the goddess established a connection from that day on, becoming closer and closer. That's right, they were having too many things in common. One day the goddess would scream, Bardock, where are you? Bardock, having heard Ceres' cry, would go quickly, but his surprise was great when he saw that everything was fine. What the hell's wrong with you? Why are you screaming? Bardock, I'm pregnant. Bardock would be surprised. That's how she is, but she was very nervous. Well, what's wrong with you? I can't have children. This is against the rules. Rules? What are you talking about? Ceres began to explain that she was a super destructive goddess. Bardock was shocked. However, both decided not to tell anyone, but what they did not know was that Xeno-sama was making a revolution against the 6 more gods. Powerful. That's right. He wanted to erase them. One day, Xeno-sama sent to call the 6 most powerful destroyer gods. I have a very bad premonition of all this. Ceres, being a super goddess, she would make her son born much faster by staying together with Bardock. The child would have been born with the same physical appearance as his father. The only thing to notice was the color of his hair, which was white, and his ki could not be felt. The 6 supreme gods arrived at Xeno-sama's palace, where without warning, Xeno-sama gave a serious look. You are beings of great power. You break the balance of this entire multiverse, so I have no choice but to eliminate you. Each god was eliminated one by one. However, the goddess Ceres was powerful enough to destroy Xeno-sama's barrier, teleporting to where Bardock was. What's wrong, Cyrus? You seem pale. The king of everything has tried to assassinate the 6 Megaversal gods. There's nothing we can do. At that moment, the boy named Kakaroto the name his father had given him, began to cry, shaking the 16 universes. The power of that newborn boy was so much that it even surpassed all the Megaversal gods together by uniting the blood of a Saiyan and a goddess, and it should be clarified that at the time of procreating, Sirius unleashed all of Bardock's powers. What the hell? Why is the whole kingdom at all shaking? Who is this overwhelming power? Surpass all gods with ease. The power that could be felt was similar to that of Sirius, but with a warrior essence. All the universes seemed like they were going to be destroyed by just the pressure of that power. I'll sacrifice myself. If Zeno-sama discovers our son, he'll kill him because of the power that he overflows. If you do it, I'll do it too. We're in this together. Sirius, with her great power, created a guardian. Maris, you have enough power and authority to care for and educate our son. Guide him on the path of good. Don't let anything bad happen to him. I trust you. Don't worry, God Sirius-sama. Leave it to my hands. Sirius and Bardock were quickly teleported to an inhospitable planet outside the 18 universes, where both began to increase their powers in an overwhelming way, overshadowing the power felt by the little Kakaroto. Their parents, knowing that they just had to attract attention, used a lot more power than their bodies were used to. That is the power of Sirius, but she is accompanied by another great power. Who could that be? Zeno-sama, along with Daishinkan and the other 12 gods of destruction, headed towards the inopportune planet. Wow, so you're with the Saiyan, but you should know that they were stripped of their divine power millions of years ago. They can't do anything against us. Despite being at an absolute disadvantage, we will not allow ourselves to be exterminated so easily. That's right, Bardock and Sirius launched the attack, knocking out all the gods of destruction. However, before everything got out of hand, the king of everything, Zeno-sama, decided to transform. Daishinkan would be having a very even battle against the same Bardock, while Sirius with Zeno-sama, the clear difference was noticeable. However, this being a king of everything, he would use one of his techniques, being able to seriously injure her. This is your end. If at least it was easy to manipulate you, none of this would have happened. Zeno-sama had eliminated Sirius by making her disappear, her soul not going to hell or paradise. At that moment, Zeno-sama would do the same with Bardock. You must train more, Dai. How can a simple Saiyan put you in these troubles? I understand, sir. I will train much harder. Daishinkan would help all the gods that had fallen in battle, but what they did not know was that the true owner of the power that shook all the universes was still alive. Meanwhile, in another dimension, there were Maris and Kakaroto, which at a very young age he was able to fly and master Divine Ki. Kakaroto, I'm very proud of your success. Your parents must be very proud of you. Thank you very much, Maris, but I want to become much more powerful. One day, in one of his trainings, Kakaroto wanted to exceed his limits. At a young age, he already mastered the Celestial Ultra Instinct. It was the Ultra Instinct, but it took it to a new level. However, he raised his power so much, being able to reach the Infinite Super Saiyan. That's right, Kakaroto's power even made that whole dimension crack. Maris, with his great power, would seal said place, because if a little of that power was perceived, they would be in great trouble. Kakaroto would have an intimidating appearance, but at any moment, he would fall out of action due to his excess power. I can't believe how this child has so much power. A few years have passed. Kakaroto was already an adult, where he already dominated his power perfectly and wanted to know about his race. Maris, what happened to my race? Maris would begin to investigate with his staff. The Saiyan race is found in Universes 6 and 7. In Universe 6, they became extinct due to an absurd war, and in Universe 7, the planet Vegeta was destroyed by a guy called Frieza. Are there any survivors? That's right. There are 3 survivors. Prince Vegeta, a Saiyan named Nappa, and Raditz, who is his half-brother. Kakarot would be surprised to learn that he had a half-brother. I'm going to visit them. I want to know how much more about my origin. It's okay, Kakarot-sama. Just don't get any trouble, please. Don't worry, Miras. I know it's not time for revenge yet. I'll make the king bastards pay in full, but let them enjoy it while they can. Kakaroto would transport to where the Saiyans were, which were on the planet Namek. Kakaroto would arrive on the planet of Namek and would observe how Frieza was torturing and humiliating the 3 Saiyans.
Who are you? Are you another Saiyan?
That face, that hair. Are you Kakaroto? I have searched for you throughout the universe. That was my father's last wish.
So, you're my brother, but you're very weak. You're nothing more than a simple worm.
I don't know who the hell you are, but if the 4 of us unite, we can exterminate the Freezer. Damn, he's afraid of the power of the Saiyans together. I can take care of this damn clown alone.
What did you say, you damn monkey?
You heard me. It doesn't matter if you're immortal or not. I can exterminate even beings that have eternal life. Everyone was surprised, even Frieza.
If you brag so much, let me fulfill that wish and then we'll see if you can finish me off.
Okay, make your wish. Frieza would begin to torture a Namkin so that he would ask for Frieza's wish. However, Kakarot, being the son of a goddess, had enough knowledge. Kakarot would begin to speak in the Namkin language for the great dragon to appear. They have gathered the 7 Dragon Balls. What is your wish? I wish you make Frieza immortal. All the Saiyans began to tremble. Are you an idiot? How do you think of making that wish?
Thank you, damn monkey, but now you're no use to me anymore. Die!
Frieza would throw a large sphere of ki towards all the Saiyans. Kakarot would stand in front of everyone, and only with his aura would he be able to make all that attack disappear. Even if you didn't attack us, I was going to end your miserable life, because you destroyed my planet. Frieza, witnessing that this Saiyan was not so weak, decided to go into his last form. Frieza decided to go seriously against that Saiyan. However, his body warned him not to attack, but the evil Emperor would not pay attention to the warnings that his body gave him. He had hit Kakarot with a strong blow to the face, which he did not even make him move an inch. Is that all? You really just wasted my time. Kakarot would take a single look when making Frieza unable to move.
But what the hell? How do you have so much power? Who are you?
I'm the son of a Super Saiyan God Bardock and the Super Destroyer Goddess Cirrus.
What? Are you the son of a destructive goddess? And now I understand why you're so powerful.
It's time that you die! Total elimination! Kakarot had so much power that with just one look, he was able to eliminate any warrior. The Saiyans who had witnessed such power of Kakarot were surprised. These spheres are no use to me. I have to look for the Super Dragon Balls. But where are they? I know. I'll go to the whole kingdom to pay them a visit. Before the Saiyans could say anything, Kakarot would disappear from that place. That's right, Kakarot had reached the realm of everything. Kakaroto had reached the king's palace of everything. Everyone who was in that palace felt like a new being had arrived. Who is the bastard that comes to my palace without authorization? We don't know, great king of everything, but today will be the day of his death. Go and bring that damned bastard before me. I'll execute him myself. It won't be necessary. He has already arrived at this palace. At that moment, a guy appeared in front of all of them, surprising Zeno-sama and Daishenkin. The guy who was with Cirrus 20 years ago. No, I'm wrong. That guy's ki was half god and half Saiyan. This guy's ki is completely the power of a god. Who the hell are you? What's more, what are you doing in my palace? That'll cost you your life. Zeno-sama could raise his hands with the intention of erasing son Kakarot. However, Kakarot would give a loud cry.
I only came here to see if you could provide information about the Super Dragon Balls that fulfill any wish.
This is impossible. It's like nothing. After surviving the attack to erase the king completely, who the hell is this guy?
What has happened? How is it possible that he could have not erased it?
No one could answer his question, where a little annoying Kakaroto could raise his power a little.
You're the most powerful beings in the kingdom of everything.
At that moment, Kakarot would say to himself,
No, they're not the most powerful. I can feel like they are 7 beings of even greater power. If they all attack me together, it'd be a problem.
Mikoshin, Daikenshin, attack! Don't let that bastard live. Mikoshin and Daishinken launched into the attack, where at that moment, Kakarot seemed to not have moved. However, he dodged their attacks with surprising precision, and a strong blow would leave Daishinken very badly injured. On the contrary of Mikoshin, who wouldn't hit her.
I can't believe that a goddess as powerful and beautiful as you followed the orders of this damn clown. Let's not fight, because if we do, our fist bumps will make those 7 beings of great power wake up. Both you and I will have a hard time, very bad.
This guy has an ability to sense the key of another world. He has the ability to raise the gods of death that would have sealed in his place. Mikoshin decreased her ki. That's right, she felt that having a battle with that god was too risky. Who are you? Why can't I feel a bit of Kira's ki inside you?
I'm the son of Saiyan God Bardock and the supreme goddess of destruction, Cirrus.
Everyone was surprised what Kakarot said. If you know that Cirrus was the enemy of the gods because she's so powerful, by revealing to us that you're her son, you're digging your grave.
If you think that for fear of you, I will deny my parents. You're very wrong. I know you killed them, but now that doesn't matter to me. What's more, do you want to fight me, Koshin? You know what our battle could bring.
The spheres you speak of are scattered throughout the universes 6 and 7. Look for one of the destroyer gods of those universes and ask them to help you.
No, damn it! That bastard with the spheres to revive Cirrus.
Zenyatta would use his erase ability again, but again it would be in vain. Kakarot's power was much higher than the king of everything. Kakarot transported in front of Zenyatta, taking him by the neck.
I know my parents died because of you, but now I have the power to kill you whenever I want. If I don't do it now, it's because I don't like to. But you're not the most powerful being, and you're not capable of erasing everything either. What is around you?
Kakarot giving him a big blow, leaving the king completely lying on the ground, very badly injured. Daishinken was going to attack when he observed how that guy had offended the great Zeno-sama, but Mikoshin, being the most powerful in that place, would stop him. Let him go. The power of that god is on another level. Even fighting together, I don't know if we could defeat him. Kakarot would leave the king completely, heading to the planet of the destroyer god Beerus. Kakarot, being a superior god, would arrive in a few minutes, where he would be received by the guardian angel of Beerus. Yes? What is he offering?
Mikoshin sent me to the destroyer god of this universe. She mentioned that you could help me gather the Super Dragon Balls.
The great Mikoshin-sama. I understand. Right now, I'll wake up Lord Beerus. Whis would go quickly to wake up Beerus, who would get up in a bad mood.
What the hell do you want, Whis?
I don't remember giving you the order to wake you up. Beerus began to throw balls of energy all over the place. One of them went to Kakarot, who, with just his eyes, made it disintegrate. Beerus felt a surprising pressure on his neck. Kakarot, looking into his eyes with authority, would tell him,
kneel before your superiors.
Even more powerful pressure would fall on his body, which would not be able to move.
What the hell is this? Why can't I move?
Kakarot was approaching Beerus, which with each step raised his power a little, that even Whis was not able to move due to the pressure of a superior being.
I'm the most powerful Saiyan god, and is that your way of treating me?
I didn't know of the existence of such a power Saiyan god. Excuse me, my powerful god.
tell me, how can I help you?
Kakarot would lessen all the killing pressure from him that was focused on both subjects.
I want you to help me gather the Super Dragon Balls. The Angel Mikoshin of the Kingdom of Everything said that you could help me.
Meanwhile, at the Realm of All, chaos would start because Xeno-sama was not going to tolerate such behavior from a mortal.
All of you, go and bring me the head of that damn Saiyan. I can't allow him to revive Cirrus.
But Mikoshin would refuse, knowing the power that Kakarot had.
Great Xeno-sama, we can't attack that god hastily. His power is on another level.
Furious, Xeno-sama would try to erase Daishinken, but at that moment, Mikoshin would make an energy field, causing his technique to fail. Mikoshin and Kakarot were one of the few who could avoid a king's technique completely.
So, they are revealing themselves. Let's see what they can do with this.
At that moment, an incredible dark power was felt throughout the entire Kingdom of Everything. Mikoshin would take Daishinken and leave that palace at a surprising speed.
That guy's crazy! How the hell does he think he's going to do with such a god of death? It cost us a lot to seal them.
Sister, where are we going?
To Universe 7. We must ally with Kakarot.
Going back to the planet of Beerus, Kakarot would get serious.
I didn't think you'd be so stupid, Mikoshin. Even if you come with the Daishinken clown, they wouldn't be able to defeat me.
Whis and Beerus were surprised to hear how the Saiyan expressed himself about the most powerful beings in the Kingdom of Everything.
Great Kakarot is correct. His power is immense, but against Daishinken, Xeno-sama, and Mikoshin, he still lacks much more power to face them.
Kakarot would start laughing.
A few moments ago, I just came from the Kingdom of Everything, beating up the weakling Daishinken, along with that dwarf of the King of Everything.
Whis and Beerus were surprised by what Kakarot said.
I can't believe it! Such a powerful god in my humble planet.
At that moment, Mikoshin would arrive along with Daishinken.
I never thought that it would be so stupid, Mikoshin. I'm going to kill you!
We are not here to fight. The king has completely gone mad. He could not tolerate your bad behavior and has decided to invoke one of the gods of death.
So I couldn't live with his failure. I see.
No, Kakaroto, this is bad. In the past, even the Supreme Gods found it difficult to fight with them. Even your mother, Cirrus.
With his mother being Cirrus and his father Saiyan, because of that, has so much power. He has Saiyan power and destructive power. So the union of both beings creates a powerful warrior enough to have the power to even humiliate a king altogether.
In the Realm of Everything, a subject had appeared.
Finally, fresh air. So long. I have already fulfilled a part of my deal. Now I want you to finish with that Saiyan and the traitors of Daishinken and Mikoshin. My guardians will also go with you.
Yeah, it's not necessary, but it's okay. I'll finish off those damned. I won't leave a trace of them. Especially the Mikoshin bastards since millions of years ago because of her damn fault I was sealed. Akuma, along with his guardians, were heading across the universe at incredible speed, arriving in a very short time. So, here are all the damned ones that I have to eliminate. Kuma would fix his gaze on the Saiyan. You cursed have the essence of the cursed Cirrus. She together with the cursed Mikoshin were able to seal me, but I would be like them to be here now. My power has increased, I'll tear them both to pieces together. Very bad comment, Akuma. Kakarot, at incredible speed, gave him a powerful Akuma blow that would make him spit out blood.
Priests have already offended the king a lot. It would be best for them to give up their lives without resisting, so they will have a great life in the Angelic Kingdom.
If you are so faithful and loyal to that damn selfish dwarf, go to the Angelic King in our place. We do not want to do it. That's right, Mikoshin ended the lives of both guardians in a few minutes.
Mikoshin-sama is amazing, but eliminating the guardians will arouse the wrath of the three ultimate guardians. I'm glad to have that goddess on my side. How fierce she is.
Kakarot and Akuma would continue exchanging multiple blows. That's right, neither of them looked outmatched, so there was no clear winner to be seen. At that moment, Akuma gave Kakarot a strong blow, which stopped him with one hand.
I hope this planet is resilient and doesn't explode under my power. although it's not my problem. It is a small planet, but it's very resistant.
Kakarot began to increase his power in an incredible way, making the entire Universe 7 shake with such incredible power. Akuma was a bit surprised by the power the guy emanated. Who are you? Why is your power supreme?
That's none of your business, but you dared to insult my mother, and this is paid with for your death.
Kakarot began to slaughter the god of death Akuma, who was no longer a match for Kakarot.
I can't believe the power he really has is being practically infinite power. It seems that his power has no limit.
It's impossible. I can't believe what I'm seeing. That bastard's playing with the god of death. Now I'm sending the 7 remaining gods. Let's see what he can do against all of them together. Zenosama would begin to make a deal with the gods of death, returning to the planet of Beerus. Kakarot had tired of humiliating the god Akuma.
I'll give you a quick death.
Kakarot looked at the god, and he started to scream. That's right, Kakarot had disintegrated him.
Kakarot, you're so very powerful. I didn't think you could beat him so easily.
But at that moment, if a tremor shook all of the universe, and even the planet of Beerus that was very resistant, being to be destroyed by such bestial power that was approaching. The powerful planet of the Destroyer God Beerus was being destroyed due to a power that even made all the Destroyer Gods tremble. The only ones who could stand up were Mikoshin and Kakarot. Being the most powerful, they could withstand a little more pressure. However, after a few minutes, Mikoshin would also fall to his knees. Kakarot, realizing this, would create a powerful energy field, making everyone else recover a little.
Get away from here! It is best to go to a place that you consider safe, since the battle that is coming. I don't know if I'm going to be able to win. Aren't you afraid? Now we can escape. Don't stay to die. Fear is something normal. From what I can feel, it is the being that is approaching. The leader of the gods of death, since he has a power that is difficult to understand.
At that moment, a sphere of ki was heading towards all of them with incredible speed. But Kakarot would face that great attack, and with a powerful blow, he would disintegrate it.
Apparently you're very anxious to die, damn. Come, and I'll make you feel the true insect terror.
Apparently, a Saiyan thinks he's capable of facing me. Don't make me laugh. They won't be able to scratch me even if they all unite against me.
So that's what you think. Let's see what you think of this!
Kakarot began to increase his power in an overwhelming way, managing to transform into the powerful Phase 3 Ultra Instinct. The power that this gave off made the entire multiverse tremble. Kakarot, without saying a word, would launch into the attack. At that moment, with the clash of their fists, the planet of Beerus would explode to pieces. The planet of the God of Destruction did not support a single impact from those two guys. Tsuyokomi would give a powerful blow to Kakarot, making him spit blood. However, Kakarot would not be left behind.
You have great power in your punches,
but I'm not a failure.
Divine Punishing Punch!
A strong blow would hit him in the face of the god, making him fall in front of the barrier where Mikoshin and the others were safe. At the moment they exchanged glances, Mikoshin and Daishoken were surprised. Sister, the god of death, is Sakumi, our older brother. But what happened to him because he has all those wounds on his face?
I don't know, but apparently the power of a god of death is disintegrating him from afar. The god who loved life became a god of death. I can't believe this. So, you're also the brother of Mikoshin and Daishoken's bastard, but your ki is absolute evil. What happened to you?
I don't remember my past that much, but I used to call those two scumbags brothers. I must end all family ties since those only make me pathetic. Tsuyokomi launched himself towards the barrier, giving it a strong blow. However, he would not be able to cross it. The barrier had a large part of the power of Kakarot. Witnessing this, he would stand in front of it, since his barrier achieved withstand the attack. However, it had decreased to 75% of its hardiness. Kakarot and Tsukuyomi began to exchange blows at an extremely incredible speed. The power that Tsukuyomi displayed was incredible. Kakarot, the Saiyan, who was born with the transformation of the Super Saiyan Infinity, was not far behind in the same way. He did not use said transformation because his energy drain was immense, and he could only access it for 25 seconds. From one moment to the next, Tsukuyomi began to take the lead in the battle, giving very good blows to Kakarot, which would fall to the ground very badly injured. He was seriously injured. At that moment, his whole body began to release smoke. Due to that, he was regenerating at an incredible speed. What the hell? He's never been hurt. What the hell am I? Why am I the only Saiyan with this incredible power? Apparently you have an excellent regeneration, but said regeneration must have a limit. You'll be my punching bag until I get bored. That's right, Tsukuyomi began to take the battle much more seriously, being able to give Kakarot some good blows because his speed would have multiplied 100 times. At that moment, Mikoshin would gather his courage by leaving the barrier that Kakarot had put. Mikoshin would increase his power to the limit by launching himself to attack. However, this was thrown to the ground only with the pressure of Tsukuyomi's ki. What are you supposed to do, rubbish? Your power's not even close to comparing to mine, so you better stay away from this place. On second thought, I better kill you now. Tsukuyomi would teleport in front of Mikoshin and charged a powerful blow, with which he intended to end the angel's life. However, at that precise moment, Kakarot would stand in front of him, receiving such a brutal blow, Kakarot would spit out blood. What have you done? Why did you let him kill me? I promised to protect you, and I'll keep my word. Now you go away from here! Tsukuyomi, the god who refused to destroy a planet because there were innocent beings. Tell me, what happened to you? We thought you were dead. As you can see, I never died. You, the beings I love the most and for whom I gave my life, left me with the gods of death. At that moment, Daishenkin would get into the conversation. We never abandoned you, brother, but we thought you were dead. Both Mikoshin and Cirrus and I were facing the rest of the gods of death. We couldn't do anything. Now I don't care about his excuses. The only thing I know is that thanks to that, I was able to surpass all my powers, since I've mastered all the negative power of a god of death. Tsukuyomi increased his power even more. This time, the 12 universes were shaking, and planets in all of them were being destroyed by the simple pressure of his ki. There's no point in trying to reason with him. Apparently he has a very blurry past, where someone is controlling him. Tsukuyomi launched into the attack, which Kakarot would stop him, realizing, again, a great battle, the power of both would remain very even. Kakarot possessing the cells of the supreme god Cirrus, he was counting on his regeneration. Cirrus was a goddess who had 3 hearts, for which reason her regeneration made her seem like an immortal being, and by having a son with a Saiyan, Kakarot would always have Zenkais in battle. However, the damage that Kakarot was receiving was so much that even the healing he was about to reach his limit, Kakarot was very worn out. I have no choice. I must use that transformation. But if I don't finish it in the 25 seconds, this will be the end of us. Kakarot with all his power would hit Tsukuyomi, which would send him flying hundreds of meters through that space. Kakarot would use his teleportation quickly, arriving with Mikoshin. Mikoshin, I'll do whatever it takes to stop this guy, but promise me that you'll revive my parents. That's all I'm asking you. But Kakarot, you can escape with us. Come, I beg you, please. No, Mikoshin, I'll be the bait. Take it for granted, Kakarot-sama. We'll make sure that the Super God Destroyer Cirrus-sama and the God Saiyan come back to life. I thank you, priest. Now I can use all my power. Kakarot began to increase his power, causing lightning to fall all around him. Kakarot's power was so much that he was able to outshine the powers of Mikoshin and the others who were heading to Universe 6 at a surprising speed. Tsukuyomi would return, and before Kakarot passed to the Super Saiyan Infinity, he'd be able to give him a strong blow.
Damn you, blow gave me has hurt too much. Now I'll make you feel the true terror.
Tsukuyomi released a part of the king's power from the hole.
Now I understand everything. You devoured all the other gods of death, conserving all their powers and energies, and the key of Xeno-sama's dwarf disappeared because of you. You exterminated him. A useless dwarf wanted to give orders to me, a god of death.
Flashback, Xeno-sama managed to make a deal with the gods of death. However, only one god would come out of the deal with said seal, which Xeno-sama recognized instantly.
Tsukuyomi, what are you supposed to do in that place? How are you a god of death? And the others? I'm the supreme god of death. All other gods live in me. This is impossible, but I'm not interested. Now go and kill those damned.
Older you, Tsukuyomi, would get angry and approach him with a cold stare.
Are you ordering me what to do? Or I'll let you pass this. Die, insect! Inverted Hawkeye! Infernal darkness! But what have you done to me?
What do you think? It's my own technique of erasing. Only that I keep the power of the Supreme Being that I eliminate.
You can't do this to me. If I die, we'll collide with the other multiverses. Since I am the pillar of Multiverse 4, reflects Tsukuyomi, we were called the weakest multiverse by the Creator God.
So, the weakest multiverse. Don't worry, dwarf. If I fulfill your request, I'll finish off that Saiyan son Cirrus, and with the 2 insects of my brothers, and if the other kings want to test my powers, let them dare. Then I will dust. Xeno-sama had died, and he had begun to form part of Tsukuyomi's power. End of the flashback. Kakarot and Tsukuyomi began to exchange blows again. However, Ultra Instinct Phase 3 was not enough.
Zengoken!
Various copies of it had appeared on the battlefield, where it began to increase its power rapidly. Lightning and everyone began to fall on what was left of the planet of the destroyer god Beerus. Kakarot had accessed Super Saiyan Infinity, which made all the gods tremble as a child. Due to his great power, Kakarot would appear in front of Tsukuyomi, and with a furtive blow, he would make him cross a few planets that were in his path.
That blow hurt a lot.
What the hell? Where'd you get so much power?
That's none of your business. But now die! Divine Spiritual Cannon!
Kakarot had executed a technique of great power, throwing it at Tsukuyomi. Kakarot had bet everything on his technique because if he didn't exterminate him, he'd be killed. Meanwhile, Daisuke and the others had reached Universe 6 at the planet of Champa. Champa, to observe them, would be scared to death. Daisuke-sama! Mikoshi-sama! How can I help you? There's no time to lose. I want to give you the 6 Super Dragon Balls that you have in your possession. It's life or death. Of course, Daisuke-sama, but I hope you didn't think that I would make a bad wish. I only had them together in case of a critical situation arose. This is a critical situation. Daisuke with mental power would carry the 6 Super Dragon Balls. With the last sphere at that moment, a great attack would illuminate all the universes, and everyone would think that it was Kakarot attack. However, Tsukuyomi was able to survive, and after 25 seconds, his power was so worn that he would return to his base state. With a simple attack, Tsukuyomi thought he would lose his life. Get out of there, great god Zarma, and fulfill my wish. What is your wish? I want you to bring the family of the Saiyan Kakarot. The eyes of the dragon would shine, appearing in front of everyone, the supreme god Cirrus, and the Super Saiyan god Bardock. The goddess Cirrus and Bardock had appeared in front of everyone present, leaving the goddess a bit surprised. The one who's going to revive us was supposed to be Kakarot. What's happening? However, the voice of the great god Zarma would take her out of her thoughts.
I have fulfilled his wish. Now I'm going to retire.
Great god Zarma, before he leaves, can you tell us what happened to the Saiyan Kakarot?
That Saiyan is very powerful. Existence that could hardly die because he's the son of the super destructive goddess Cirrus, the Saiyan god. At this moment, he is on the verge of death, but in a few days, he will be 100% recovered.
The Super Dragon Ball is spread again through the universes 6 and 7. However, at that precise moment, a strong tremor would make the 4 universes tremble. That's right, Multiverse 2 would have collided with Multiverse 4 of Xenosama. Mikoshin would quickly approach Sirius. "What are you supposed to do to us? Are you going to kill me again? At least let me see my son." "Didn't you pay attention to what the great god Zarma said? Kakarot is on the verge of death because he faces a god of death." "What? My poor son! I don't have to go to his rescue." At that moment, Bardock would have a vision where he would observe Kakarot fighting against a warrior with a peculiar appearance, since he looked like a demon. "Don't you worry about it, Sirius. Kakarot will soon recover and will make all the multiverses tremble because of his great power." That reaction! Is this man able to see the future? That doesn't matter. Sirius, now, what I need is your power. The god of death comes instead, and I need the power Mikoshin would create a pentagram with which it would break the seal that retained of all of Sirius's power. Sirius raised his power at once. Meanwhile, very far from that place with Seokami, this would be said. "This is Sirius's key. I can't make a mistake. So those bastards managed to bring her to life. And it'll be the same result. They won't be able to do anything against me." Seokami began to head towards them at incredible speed, returning with the others. Sirius would get serious. "If you decide to remove my seal, that means that you are in a very desperate situation, since you know that with my unlocked power, I'm capable of killing you. I apologize for 20 years ago, but really, we're just following orders." "That doesn't matter anymore. I can feel a disgusting key approaching. If that guy was the one who hurt my little Kakarot, I'll exterminate him myself." "Even with all your power, I don't know if you'll be able to face it, so I'll bet everything. Divine Seal Annihilation!" A new pentagram would appear under Bardock's feet. "What are you supposed to do, Mikoshin? If we want to have at least a small chance against that god, we must give everything." Bardock's power had been sealed millions of years ago, beginning to flow through all his veins. It was even greater than the power of Sirius unlocked for him at that time. Bardock would access the perfect Ultra Instincts Phase 2. The power of Bardock was surprising. How could Kakarot not be a great warrior if his parents were monsters? At that moment, Seokami would arrive where all of them were. Sirius would look at him with a very serious look. Sirius's gaze would make even that god of death shudder a little, because Sirius in the past was much more powerful than him. "Apparently, Sirius has come back to life. What do you think if you join me and together we all end this trouble?" "I would never do that. Since you dared to hurt my son Kakarot, I'll never forgive you." "I know you would say something similar, but I didn't hurt him." That Seiya must be in the other world at that moment. Seokami's words would make Sirius explode with rage, launching herself into the attack at a speed that no one was able to see. Only Bardock and Seokami himself, the clashes of the fists would make everything around them tremble. The universe itself was affected by such power. Meanwhile, Kakarot's sphere of energy had fallen into Multiverse 2, where a subject would find it. "The king of everything, Akio. Apparently this guy is dead because of his heart is missing." "Okay, Lucid. Reduce it to atoms and return immediately. We must be the first to attack in this war and position ourselves as the strongest multiverse." Lucio would charge a large sphere of destruction energy, throwing it at Kakarot. However, before it collided with him, Kakarot would regain consciousness, being able to dodge such a powerful attack. "What the hell is wrong with you? Why do you even attack me if you know I can't defend myself? I'll never forgive you for this, even if you beg me." "What an interesting guy. You didn't have the heart, and miraculously you managed to dodge my attack. And if that's not enough, your heart has grown again." Akio, who was in place observing everything that had happened from the crystal sphere, would be a bit astonished, because the power of said subject did not lose any of that as a warrior. "I want you to defeat him and bring him back. He will be an important piece in our hunt across the multiverses." "As you order, sir." Lucille and Kakarot began to increase their powers. However, the only appearance that changed was that of Kakarot. which had gone to perfect Ultra Instinct because their energies were not yet 100%, both began to battle, making them tremble the entire Multiverse 2. Meanwhile, in the place of the entire Multiverse 3 was the queen of the entire TOW, who was a bit upset because Accio had already started her conquest. Damn, Accio has already sent his warrior to end some multiverse. Apparently, he's the only king of everything who wants war and everything to show everyone that he is the strongest multiverse. Tansino-sama, this is all your fault. When he died, the imbalance was lost. Returning to Multiverse 2, both warriors were very even, making use of a large part of their powers. However, it could be clearly seen how Lucio was the only one playing with Kakarot, which landed death attacks because of him. This was not a game. At that moment, Lucio was able to give him a powerful blow, which would make him fall to the ground almost unconscious. Kakarot could not move. However, at that moment, he observed in his mind a being identical to him. I didn't think they'd defeat you, my son. You were born with a power that even made kings tremble. Watch this. Bardock would go into a transformation never seen before by Kakarot. This is Super Saiyan kills gods, or destroyer of kings. Kakarot would never have seen his father, however, the similarity was too much. So you're my father. Apparently, Mikoshin, if I manage to bring them to life. Thank you, Dad, for this transformation. I'll not die. I trust you, son. Kakarot would come to his senses, beginning to fight with a demon named Lucio. However, at that moment, Kakarot began to increase his power in an incredible way. That's right, Kakarot would manage to become the Super Saiyan Kills God, but he would call it Super Saiyan Purple because his hair, as well as his aura, which would turn purple. However, he was much more powerful than the Super Saiyan Phase 3 Ultra Instinct, but he will still be below the Super Saiyan Infinity. So you hid your much more power. Let's see what you can do now. However, from that moment to the next, Lucio received injuries all over his body from him falling to the ground very badly injured. He had been hit to such an extent that he was even bleeding too much. Lucio, are you alright? You must use all your power if you want to defeat him. Who the hell is that guy? No, don't defeat him. Eliminate him. We'll see how we conquer the other multiverses. As ordered, sir. Accio would say to himself, this is a lot of coincidence. Just when the four multiverses collided with each other, a warrior falls into our multiverse. Maybe a strategy from other multiverses, but no. They're weaker multiverses to start conquering. This doesn't make any sense. Lucio would have increased all his power, with which he was ready to fight with the Saiyan. That's right, he was confident due to his power that he possessed. At that precise moment, Lucio would hit Kakarot with all his might. But his surprise was great when he realized that said blow would not make him even a single scratch. Is that all? I gave you enough time to raise all your power. Apparently it was a waste of time. Lucio would continue to hit him, which Kakarot did not dodge. He wanted to show him the difference in power. Meanwhile, in the Kingdom of Everything, Accio was very surprised. That being is going to kill Lucio. I must go to his aid. Accio, with maximum speed, would go to the aid of Lucio. When he arrived, Kakarot was about to hit the final blow to end his life. However, Accio would hold Kakarot's blow with an overwhelming force, and give him a great blow with which he would go back a few meters. Lucio, get out of here. Go to the palace and recover all your wounds. You don't have enough power to kill this warrior. I'm sorry, my lord. It's my first defeat, but I've let you down. Lucio would go to the king's palace completely. He no longer had enough energy to continue fighting with that being. Before we start the battle, tell me, what multiverse do you belong to? What are you supposed to do here? Kakarot wouldn't understand anything the guy was talking about. Multiverse? What are you talking about? I was fighting with the god of death, and I was defeated. At the moment of a sphere of ki was thrown at me, I fell in that place, collapsed, was on the brink of death. So, it was just a coincidence that this being fell into our multiverse. Accio, at a speed that even Kakarot was not able to see anything, would give him some strong blows, which almost made him lose his transformation. However, Kakarot would not be left behind, launching himself to attack in the same way, but a key barrier covered the entire space bodyguard of the god. The barrier was forged with 50% of all my power. If you want to just hit me, you have to overcome 50% of all my power, which is impossible for a Saiyan like you. It's very risky.
but I hope it helps.
Kakarot would launch into the attack, but in each exchange, the blows, the only one who received damage was him. That's right, Kakarot's power was not enough. However, what he wanted was the regeneration of his wounds, and thanks to his Zenkai Z's increase, after a few moments of the battle, Kakarot's illogical plan would work, managing to hit the king of everything, Accio, with a strong blow, who would get so angry that he began to massacre Kakarot.
Let's see how much you can regenerate your body, damn Saiyan.
Accio began to torture Kakarot until he was knocked out. Accio would take him to the kingdom completely because he had a plan with said Saiyan. Meanwhile, with Tsuyokomi, this as well as Cirrus, Mikoshin, Daishanken, and the fusion of the gods and angels was very injured.
I must admit that with a divine ki, they are more powerful than me. But how about this?
Tsuyokomi would expel unpleasant ki. Death could be felt instead. Tsuyokomi had access to his ki of the god of death. Tsuyokomi began to expel unpleasant and disgusting ki from his entire body. The power that it gave off was disgusting since it could feel like it had killed hundreds of thousands of living beings. How can you be so proud to possess that Tsuyokomi ki? You are an admirable being. Now the only thing you give me is contempt.
This is the power of a god of death. I hope and you are prepared to die. You're correct. With my divine ki, I'm not an opponent for you. But let's see if you are now able to face me.
At that moment, Tsuyokomi began to fight for everyone at once. That's right, his power was so much that he had no difficulty doing it. However, at that precise moment, Bardock would step forward.
I hope you don't mind. Now I'll join the battle also. No matter. The insects that come together, their efforts will be in vain. Even I hadn't even noticed your presence being so weak. I had much more important matter to worry about insects like you.
Annoyed, Tsuyokomi would dodge those he was fighting with, and at maximum speed he thought of giving Bardock a powerful blow. But he would be surprised because Bardock had the power to stop the blow centimeters from touching his face.
How can an insect be able to withstand a blow from me? You're not fighting with any fans. You're fighting with the god Saiyan.
Kakarot, that's why he's so powerful, both because of his father and his mother. From both genetics, he draws incredible power. This can't be possible. I was much more powerful than Bardock. Bardock would give him a great blow, sending him flying a few meters, and he'd stand on the other side of the gods.
Although I hate to admit it, I don't have the power to defeat him alone, so I'll need your help.
At that moment, a battle would decide the fate of the multiverses. 4 would begin. However, despite these having greater allies, the god Tsuyokomi could do the unimaginable. He was capable of fighting against all of them. In turn, without, however, it was taking him a long time to do it. Meanwhile, returning to Multiverse 2, the king of everything Accio would have taken Kakarot to his palace, throwing him where Lucio was.
What am I supposed to do with it, my lord? Immerse him in demonic blood. He'll be a great ally for our conquest.
At that moment that Accio was about to be submerged, Kakarot ejected an unimaginable power causing hundreds of planets to be pulverized. Kakarot had gone to Super Saiyan Infinity.
You really must call yourself a king at all. You don't conquer at all to Xenosama's dwarf. Xenosama? I can't believe it. You're the weakest multiverse. So it was you who killed him. It wasn't me. It was the god of death. But that doesn't matter. I'll finish you off in this damn place.
Kakarot at an extremely incredible speed gave him a great blow that even the second most powerful god, Accio, had felt pain. Accio, feeling so much pain, he could not contain himself and would launch a strong blow that would break his neck.
I can't believe that simple blow from a pathetic Saiyan had caused me so much pain. I will forgive you. Today will be the day of your death. Or not. You really will be a faithful servant.
Accio would be surprised to witness how the Saiyan would stand up despite a great blow, and this would make his neck return to normal. This was thanks to his great regeneration.
That blow must knocked me out. Can't believe the power of this guy. It's been over 1,500 years since I've unleashed 45% of all my power. But apparently, I want to beat you. I have no choice but to do so.
Accio began to increase his power in an unreal way. The power that he released was spreading through the 4 multiverses, even reaching the multiverse where everyone was fighting. Whose overwhelming power is it? I feel more pressure of his ki crush me. Tsuyokomi would also be a bit surprised, however he didn't notice it. How low the super goddess of destruction Cirrus has fallen. Are you afraid of that pathetic divine power? But at that moment, Cirrus would send him flying with a strong blow. I swear I'll kill you, insect. Meanwhile, in Multiverse 3 with the Queen of Everything Tawa, she had felt the battle that said Saiyan had with the Demon of Multiverse 2 since the past Accio had already sent his maniac fighter to finish off beings of great can. This would be incredible to stop. We must unite with Ryoma to be able to beat Accio. But at that moment, Tawa would also feel the incredible battle that was taking place through Multiverses 4, being a little surprised, since the level was incredible and her power was far from even comparing to the power of Xeno-sama had. Very great powers are fighting in the multiverses of Xeno-sama. I believe that battle. What I know is that one of the that was present of the death of Xeno-sama. Because of him, we're involved in this problem. I'll kill him. Tawa began to go to Multiverse 4 at a surprising speed. It wouldn't take her long to arrive, being able to observe how the fusion of angels, the fusion of a god and an angel, and the most incredible guardians of everything in the Saiyan fighting against a being that gave off a disgusting aura. And at that moment, Cirrus would give Tsuyokomi a powerful blow, sending him flying. However, no matter how much they hurt him, he came back, and came back with much more desire to fight. The power of the gods of death was regenerating him. Cirrus would arrive with Tawa. Who are you? I can feel the quality of your aura. My name is Tawa, and I am the queen of everything of the Multiverse 3. All the multiverses collapsed due to the death of Xeno-sama. We know, and that guy in front of you is responsible for the death of Xeno-sama. A furious Tawa would lunge at him, but unlike the others, Tawa's blows were so brutal that they would make even a god of death power be a bit overwhelmed. Who the fuck are you? No, I'll not forgive you. I'll use 75% of the power of the gods of death. Everyone was surprised to think that he was already using his full power. At that precise moment, universes of different multiverses trembled with such bestial power. Your ki is disgusting, disgusting. Right now, I will end your life. Tsuyokomi, when he finished increasing his power, would launch himself into the Queen of all, Tawa, giving a great battle. However, when they exchanged blows, Tawa would communicate with everyone mentally. The Saiyan subject, I can feel that he is the most powerful of all. Charge your most powerful attack. I'll hold him, and then we can kill this subject. Please don't kill him. He's my dear brother. He was just a victim of the gods of death. Cirrus would leave Mikoshin out of action alongside Daishenkin. Tawa would continue to have a great battle with Tsuyokomi. However, the more he continued, the more he would take the lead with Tsuyokomi. He was getting used to the Queen's style completely, and from one moment to the next, he was able to give him the first effective blow, sending to a planet, causing him to be destroyed with the impact. Tawa would get up, and at great speed, he would connect a great blow. I have no alternative. Heavenly Cut Ki Destruction! An energy sword was about to hit Tsuyokomi's heart. However, he was able to move a few centimeters, being able to dodge such a powerful blow. But the attack still had caused him too much pain. A scream would resound through the multiverse. Ha! Curse your ki sword! It damaged several veins that connected with my death energy. Now I only have divine ki left. Tsuyokomi would pass to his divine ki. However, in the same way, his ki was worn, and Bardock had already finished forming his incredible attack. At that moment, Bardock would launch into an opposing attack, which Tsuyokomi was about to dodge. Absolute divine paralysis! Tsuyokomi would stay in the same place, being hit by such power, going out all over the universe. Bardock would re-transform, but when everyone thought that everything was over, a ki that even exceeded that of a god of death would appear. The castles of all the kings were shaking. Some of them were even destroyed, except for the castle of Multiverse 1. This is impressive. Who gives off so much power? This power is so much that even a single blow would be able to finish off all kings, except for the second most powerful. This can't be. Apparently Kakarot has fallen into the path of evil. Listen, Bardock. Toa would remain the Saiyan that he was facing off against, the Demon of Multiverse 2. This cannot be true. That Saiyan's power was great, but not that much. Now he is at the level of a king of everything. No matter how much he changes his ki or becomes aggressive, he's my son, and I can recognize him in one way or another. At that moment, Mikoshin would wake up, realizing that his sister Tsuyokomi was no longer in that place.
They really have murdered my brother.
I can't believe it, you Cirrus! You knew that he was a good god! But tell me, if Kakarot became an evil being, would you also murder him? Cirrus would be speechless, because she would not be able to end the life of her own son. However, Bardock was much more thoughtful and was not intimidated by these types of comments.
If he decided to join the wrong side, we'll beat him up.
I'm afraid that will be incredible. If beings like us approach said subject, his aura would be able to reduce us to atoms. Returning to Multiverse 2, Akio managed to defeat Kakarot using 45% of all his power, and this with a strong blow sent Kakarot to the Sea of Demonic Blood, which had the purpose of obeying everything commanded by the King of Everything of Multiverse 2 and release all the hidden power that its bearer possesses. At the moment of leaving, Kakarot had come out with an intimidating look. That's right. His hair was red like blood, just like his eyes, and the power he gave off was so much that it made everyone rumble. The multiverses at the time of this, leaving there was no one in the palace because the god of death Tsuyokomi had fallen on the planet close to that of Multiverse 2, and Akio together with Lucio went to see who it was.
This guy is on the verge of death, but I can feel a great Lucio power. Just take him to the demonic sea. As ordered, sir.
By the time Lucio was about to leave, an incredible pressure had appeared in that entire place, leaving even Akio surprised.
Whose power is this? I could feel him at my back.
Akio would launch a powerful blow, and little watch as this guy would have defeated would parry his blow with a single finger.
Sir, excuse me if I scared you. I didn't mean to, but I must thank you for all this power. Look how strong I am.
Kakarot would expel part of his power, making everything around him tremble. It was no longer just full multiverses, but he would make the entire Omniverse tremble. Kakarot would have made 4 multiverses shudder. Kakarot's power would have been so much that the 4 kings had all felt the extremely impressive power. At that moment, Lucio was going with this.
Even though you are one of us, you must show respect to your superiors.
Kakarot would put on a serious look, and his imposing red eyes made him look like a terrible guy.
If I before didn't have this great power, I was able to almost kill you. Don't speak to me in that tone again, or next time, there won't even be ashes of you left.
Kakarot released an even more surprising pressure, which would make Lucio drop to his knees, and he wouldn't breathe. Even Akio would be a little nervous, however, a moment later, he would laugh out loud.
I can tell that your power is extremely incredible. You're almost at my level. If I didn't trust the demonic source, I would kill you right now. Now I don't think he's capable of defeating me. But don't worry, my power is only to protect you, Akio-sama. This guy is the god of death that I told you I had faced. His power surpasses even Lucio. If you cure him, we'll have a great ally. Don't ever refer to me again.
Lucio did not finish his sentence since Kakarot would return to observe him with a murderous look.
I don't give third chances. Next time, I'll kill you!
Akio would be a little surprised because according to Kakarot, he already had enough power to defeat him. Returning to Multiverse 7, Bardock was talking with the Queen of Everything, Toa.
What are we supposed to do now? We don't have enough power to defeat Kakarot.
We must go as fast as possible with the King of Everything of this multiverse, and since he is the only capable being of facing the same Kakarot and Akio.
Okay, we'll go with you.
Everyone present would leave the place, flying at a great speed to Multiverse 1. Return to the palace of All Akio, he would throw Tsuyokomi into the demonic source, which would also raise his power in an amazing way. His power would have elevated inordinately. However, it was still below the power of Kakarot. Why didn't my power rise higher? I'm a god. How is it possible that the source has given a greater power to a mere Saiyan? The power of the source is not giving you unlimited power. All it does is unlock your hidden power. In other words, it speeds up that process, which means that in a few years, Kakarot's going to get that monstrous power. Tsukuyomi would be a little annoyed and scared at the same time, but the voice of his king would take them out of their thoughts. We are really. Today, we'll stop being Multiverse 2. I hope you're ready to face the multiverse. Everyone would nod. The king of everything with the dimensional portal would reach Multiverse 1 in a few seconds. When he arrived, a very beautiful girl was at the door, like the High Priestess. Long time no see, Naomi. I hope you're both ready, since today, his reign ends here. That will be impossible for you. None of you have enough power to face the powerful king of everything, Ryoma. I want to see that. Get out of there, Ryoma. Come and show your face. At that moment, a pressure would fall all over that place. The powerful Ryoma was getting closer, and with just his pressure, everyone present would know that he was a being of great power. Long time no see here. Why don't you come to my castle and have a tea? Stop playing games, damn. We're here to be the most powerful beings in the multiverse, and this time we'll succeed. You continue with what you did 1,500 years ago. You don't have enough power to defeat me. It's not your fault that the Creator God created me with so much power. If you don't come in a good way, better get out of my multiverse before I give you one beating. That's what annoys me about you, damn. You underestimate us. You think that we're not a match for you. However, at that precise moment, Akio would launch himself against Ryoma, starting a great battle, which seemed even. Tsukuyomi, having not raised his power as much, had a hard time keeping up with them. It's amazing how Akio-sama is at the level of that king of everything. No, that guy will kill Akio, because he's putting pressure on him with his defense. The more Akio-sama attacks, the more ki wears out, while that guy's ki hasn't diminished at all. Lucille at the moment would attack Naomi. However, with a few blows, she would leave him on the verge of death and very badly injured. The most powerful demon in the multiverse, too, was defeated in approximately 30 seconds. You're nothing more than simple fans. You better go before you die. You're not being serious. You haven't tested my power yet. Kakarot would launch into an attack, beginning to exchange a few blows with the priestess. Returning to the confrontation of Akio and Ryoma, both seemed evenly matched. However, Akio was not being able to dodge a furtive blow, which would send him to the ground. Ryoma would notice that his wife was facing a Saiyan and had already defeated a demon. This won't end well for you here. You've already lost one of your allies. They won't be able to do anything against me. I hope that woman was power enough to face Kakarot, or else she'll inevitably die. Ha 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 ha! Akio, you better than anyone know the overwhelming power of Naomi. She will not be defeated by a simp. At that moment, Naomi would pass through the middle of both of them. Naomi had been sent flying with a strong blow, drawing back some blood from her. Kakarot was approaching at incredible speed to continue her attack. However, Ryoma would teleport, and with a serious look, I would tell him, if you hit Naomi again, this time I'll end your miserable life. Thanks, Kakarot. You were able to see this damn Furious, the king of everything who doesn't care. He has a weakness, and it's that damn Kakarot. Kill her. Ryoma, at that precise moment, would throw a sphere of ki into Akio's heart, where before it hits, Kakarot would stand in front of him receiving the attack. However, it would cost nothing to regenerate his body. Apparently, I was about to die, and I wasn't able to realize it. Thanks, Kakarot. You are much more powerful than Akio. Why do you hold back and not use all your power? Don't say stupid things, as a Saiyan will make you more powerful than a king of everything. So you realized I didn't use all my power because if my power exceeds his, I don't want him to feel bad. So he affirms it. Apparently he's not using all his power. This is the worst humiliation of my life. Kakarot, if you're more powerful than me, it's fine. Release all your power and finish off that dam. As you order, Akio-sama. Kakarot expelled all the power of him accumulated from him. That's right, Kakarot's power was much more than even the mighty king of everything of the Multiverse 1 began to smile. This is what I wanted as a battle, where I can use all my power. Our battle would be legendary! Ghostly steps! Ryoma would move at a speed that even disappeared for Akio and Tsuyokomi. However, everyone was surprised when Kakarot would say, "Ghostly steps!" So by just seeing me using it once you're able to use it, you are a really powerful being. Both subjects would begin to exchange blows at an incredible speed, because not even Naomi could clearly see what was happening. Meanwhile, with Toho and the others, Toho would stop halfway. It's too late! Ryoma's fighting with another king altogether, but he doesn't know who he is, because he's not Akio's ki and Xenosama's dead. Cirrus, that dark power, is that our own son? That's right, Bardock. His power is even greater than that of the god of death. No, this can't be happening. Ryoma's fighting against another king. No matter what ki my son has, I'll always recognize him. Returning to the battle, no warrior could be seen. However, at that moment, they would both appear. Both were with their clothes a bit worn. However, Naomi would be surprised. Is that blood? The most powerful king has shed blood. I can't believe it. You're a worthy opponent, but you still need much more power if you want to defeat me. I say the same. At that moment, they began to exchange blows again. How is it possible for two guys to have such fighting power, if not even beings of our level are capable of observing them? Someone who logically was not Tsuyokomi and is inside his body would say, obviously beings like you can't see anything. Since there are only our containers, they're simple dregs. The battle would continue for a few moments while they exchanged blows. Ryoma would communicate with his Saiyan telepathically. Saiyan, the attack I launched at Akio, I can assure you that it was not to kill him, but to get that evil presence out of him. The hatred that Akio has for me is not normal, so a being is manipulating him. I know you don't believe me, but you must trust me. I believe you, since there are times when Akio-sama doesn't seem to be the same. So what do you have in mind for those guys to show their faces? Both subjects continued to impact their fists. However, they would appear with their ki very worn, and both with holes in their chest that they had been mortally wounded. Naomi was going to help Ryoma, however she would listen in her mind. Don't worry, this Saiyan and I are pretending. We still have all our energies. Pretend what? Obviously, he's the enemy. No, Akio, and that god named Tsuyokomi is just being manipulated by an even more powerful existence. Okay, Rivera, I trust you, but please don't die. Akio would approach, both realizing that they were both on the brink of death. Apparently, you're also about to die, Kakarot, but thanks for leaving this damn me like this. Die for me, Kakarot. I'll be the one to give him the final blow. At that moment, Akio would begin to charge a very powerful ki sphere, with which he had planned to end Akio's life. At that moment, when he was about to launch his attack, his power would vanish, lightning falling all over the place. What's wrong with me? Well, does my body hurt a lot? Akio would lose consciousness due to such monstrous power. Of course, it hurts, damn. We have gone through approximately 1,500 years. We almost joined, but thank you. I'll be the one to give you the final blow and receive the blessings of the murderous king. The same would happen with Tsuyokomi. That's right, Achi had abruptly separated from him, also being knocked out at that moment in which both charged a large sphere of ki and threw it at him. Kakarot and Ryoma would dodge it and both would heal the wound of his body. So you're the ones behind all this. I'll kill you. Because of this miserable fault, Akio-sama always had a full life of resentment and hatred. I'll exterminate them. Kakarot and Akio would raise all the power of him, making some of the closest omniverses shake. Without my original body, I could defeat you. Now you'll be crushed, or rather between the two of us, we will crush them. Achi and Rek would also release a sinister power, making everything around them tremble. Two gods of death that were in the body of Tsuyokomi and Eiko finally had given the face. That's right, both to realize that Kakarot and the most powerful god Ryoma to be the ones to give the coup de grace. I can't believe it! Really, what Ryo-sama said was the right thing to do! Two beings with much more power than the kings themselves were in his body. I can't forgive them either! Because of them, Akio-sama always sought revenge. Now, I'll annihilate them. I want to see you try it, dirty mortal. Goku at that moment would throw himself against Akachi, while Ryoma would begin to exchange blows with Riek. The battle seemed very even. However, the battle of that four subjects released was incredible. At that moment, Akio managed to regain consciousness and he was furious to know that he was used. I swear I'll kill you, damn it! Akio would start to charge a great energy attack with the intention of throwing it to the beings in front of him. However, at that precise moment, Naomi would approach him. Stop, Akio! With the power you have, you'll only make a fool of yourself. Your power's far away from Ryoma-sama and that Saiyan named Kakarot. Don't tell me what to do, you were used by one of them. I know how you must feel, but you better get your powers back so you can be more use. I'll help you. At that moment, Naomi would create a large sphere of energy, which would enclose Roma, making him recover his powers little by little. That's right, in that energy field, you could feel a quality energy flowing all around him. Meanwhile, with Bardock and Cyrus, both of them were traveling to the Multisphere. Both were traveling to Multiverse 1 with the Queen of Everything, Tawa. However, before reaching the Palace of the Kingdom of Everything, a strong explosion would blow everything to pieces. That's right, the power of one of his fists had made this palace of the most powerful king of everything explode into pieces. That is amazing! Never in the history of the 6 multiverses had there never been a fight like this before. That power you feel is Kakarot's. I can't be wrong. He has immense power. He has divine blood and Saiyan blood in his veins. It's not the time to be proud of Kakarot. It's true that he has immense power, but if he becomes evil, he'll finish us all off. I don't think so. Since the Ryoma and Kakarot are teaming up, as far as I can tell, they are fighting with 2 other beings of great power. That's the key of my dear brother Tsuyokomi. Indeed, it seems that 2 guys were staying in the body of the so-called Angel of Death Tsuyokomi and Akio. That means that the real enemies are those 2 guys that my son Kakarot's fighting with, and the other guy named Roma. That's right! You're correct! Back to the battle, the 4 beings were fighting all over the outer space. However, the gods of death seemed to have the advantage in the battle. Damn, that damn worm's too fast. I never thought anyone could surpass my divine ghostly steps. What happened, Ryoma? Did you run out of energy? I have plenty of energy, but you better run away, because with that speed, I doubt anyone will be able to catch up with you. Your provocations don't work with me, so that'll be useless. Damn it. If he doesn't lose control, I won't have any chance. Since his speed overwhelms me, I have no choice but to give it my all. Ryoma would attack again with much more speed than before, but nothing was effective. Meanwhile, with the combat between Kakarot and Akachi, Goku, no matter how many hits he gave him, Akachi's armor received all the damage without any problem. If this continues like this, I'll lose. It doesn't matter that I have accelerated healing. It's finishing me off little by little. Kakarot and Akachi would continue their battle for a few more moments. At one point in the battle, Kakarot and Ryoma were cornered and both collided back to back. Are you having trouble with your battle, Ryoma? Haha, I should be asking you. I'm the king of all that is most powerful. There's no rival worthy of my power. With me, you don't have to pretend. I see how that guy with his speed's putting you in trouble. Do you think we could change opponents? Do you think you could finish the subject that even I wasn't able to beat? Are you underestimating my power, you fucking maggot? Of course not, because I respect your power, and I know that only you could finish with that armor. I tell you that your physical power is far superior than mine. I don't know what your plan is, but I take your word for it. At that moment, both had changed opponents. That's right, Goku would start fighting with Reik and Akachi with Ryoma. This is great, since ending your life means that we have won, since the only thing we need is for the most powerful god to fall. Ryoma would, at that instant, deliver a strong blow, which, with its first impact, was not able to do anything to the armor. I'll tell you the same thing I told that imbecile ape. Your blows are not capable of doing any scratch to my armor, so you better resign yourself. Akachi would direct a blow at him, which Ryoma would easily dodge and give him a second blow in the same place, making a piece of metal fall to the ground. Kakarot, observing this, would say to himself, I knew it! In physical strength, Ryoma surpasses me. Now I must do my part of the deal, and I must be able to fight this guy with my speed to the max. Reik at that moment would begin to hit Kakarot, who was doing everything possible to defend himself, but it was useless. That's right, the power of his enemy did not surpass him. Moreover, his blows were much weaker than those of Tsuyokomi, but his speed was so much that he managed to cause damage by hitting him in the same place hundreds of times. Kakarot at that moment would manage to dodge a blow from Reik. I already let you hit me too much. Don't you think it's my turn to attack? Even if you want to attack, you won't be able to hit me. No one's been able to do it. Kakarot at that moment would create a few clones, making them move all over that place. Kakarot at that moment began to take his body beyond its limits. That's right, the power of Kakarot emanated was so much that it would even make everyone present tremble. At that moment, Tawa would arrive with all the others to a part of the universe where Akio was with Naomi. Kakarot would observe again, being able to recognize Cirrus and Bardock. So the clown Daishinkan was able to bring them to life. I owe him one. My parents are watching me. I'm forbidden to lose. You can do it. We trust you, son. Kakarot, with the words of his parents, his powers grew in an even more amazing way, leaving Reik surprised by the power he was releasing. If you increase your power like this, you'll never be able to hit me. You'll be so heavy that you won't even be able to move because of the excess energy that your whole body supports. Don't think I'm just an amateur. You're fighting someone who knows all the weak points of your body. So this will be the end of you. Kakarot, as if it were lightning speed, moved at an impressive speed, which Reik was the only one able to see. But in spite of that, he was not able to dodge a strong blow that had been directed towards his whole face. That's right, the blow had been so powerful that he had even sent him flying a few meters backwards. Kakarot, without giving the time to recover, began to massacre Reik. With each blow, felt that this guy was taking his life. Since Kakarot's power was much greater than his, at that moment Reik was able to dodge one of his blows and take some of the distance to recover. You bastard! You almost killed me! I swear I'll annihilate you, you demonic flash! Reik's speed had tripled, giving a beating to Kakarot. Meanwhile, with the battle of Ryoma and Akio, Ryoma had been able to destroy all his armor, and this time, at the moment of impact with his fists, he was able doing a great damage. However, Akio at that moment would give a big laugh that would resonate throughout the empty universe. Ha 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 ha! You weren't able to defeat me in time. My brother now uses the demonic flash. He'll defeat that Saiyan in the blink of an eye. I doubt it very much. He was the only one who came up with his plan, so I'm sure he won't die as a pathetic warrior. And above all, his parents are in this place. Ryoma was still beating Akio, who was no longer able to defend himself. Meanwhile, with Reik and Kakarot, Kakarot had been left on the verge of death, because Reik's speed had increased so much that even Kakarot was not able to see anything. If you remember the warrior to hit me, even if you were to die here, I'll always remember you. Reik would throw himself against Kakarot, piercing him with a single blow. That moment, a scream would sound throughout the place, leaving Ryoma just as surprised. Kakarot! No! Seriously, I apologize for getting you into this trouble. I swear I'll give my life so that your sacrifice will not be forgotten. Now that I have finished with this insect, the next ones would be you. But first, I'll help my brother to finish the life of that damn scum before he causes more problems. At that moment, Reich would try to pull out his arm out of Kakarot's body. It'd be impossible. That's right, Kakarot's body had imprisoned Reich's arm. I knew that dodging that last blow would be impossible, so I decided to take it. I knew you didn't have the power to end my life. Your power is inferior to mine. This can't be happening. I pierced your heart. Every being dies when its heart's destroyed. What the hell are you? I am a divine Saiyan who has the fortune of possessing 3 hearts. Reich would be surprised to hear that Kakarot said. At that moment, Kakarot would charge a big hit. Let's see if you can resist one of my blows at maximum power. Kakarot would deliver his last blow successfully, taking Reich's life at that very moment. Kakarot would fall along with the others. It seems that Ryoma is about to finish with that other nuisance. Ryoma at that instant would give him a fury of blows, and before Akachi can recover, he would throw a large sphere of destructive energy at him, reducing him to mere atoms. However, when Ryoma was about to get to everyone else, a slingshot of energy would pierce Ryoma's chest. What the hell? Where the hell did this attack come from? At that moment, 2 more beings would appear from a portal. But unlike Akachi and Reich, the power of these 2 subjects was overwhelming. So much so that it would cut off the breath of all the beings that were there in that place. Kakarot at that moment would enclose everyone in a sphere of energy. Kakarot, what are you supposed to do? The most powerful king must not fall in battle. Take care of yourselves. Kakarot would send them flying with a special technique, and at that moment, he would begin to increase his power in a surprising way. Accessing the infinite Super Saiyan, doling all the ki of his friends. What do you say we see who gets to hell faster? Kakarot had accessed Super Saiyan Infinity, while his friends were flying all over the universe at an astonishing speed. Damn it! I'm not able to help my little Kakarot. You wouldn't be able to do anything. The power of those guys don't compare to the other 2 we fought. But I can't believe the power that guy was hiding. He even surpassed you, Ryoma-sama. That's the power with which our little Kakarot was born. But we can't leave him alone. They're 2 against 1. Those guys will kill him one way or another. We have to go back. I don't plan to leave Kakarot alone. However, Akio, at that moment, he would faint again. That's right, the god of death had consumed a great part of his vitality. For the moment, we should look for a safe place to protect ourselves. I have an idea. We could go to my palace. No, it's a terrible idea. If those guys finish with Kakarot, the first places they'll visit will be the palaces of the kings of everything. We'll be easy prey. We could go with my brother Daishenkin. He's in an inhospitable planet of the 18 universes. I think that's a great idea. We must recover as fast as possible to be able to help Kakarot. I swear that your sacrifice will not be in vain. Bardock would grab Ryoma by the neck, furious. My Kakarot is not dead yet. I'm sure he'll come out alive. Returning to the battlefield, the 2 opponents would stand in front of Kakarot. Because of you, we have lost Ryoma, the king of the most powerful everything. For that simple reason, you will die here, because the Yespir, the second most powerful god of death. I don't care who the hell you are. If you mess with one of my loved ones, you'll regret it. Kakarot, no matter who this guy is, he would go after him with maximum speed. Both guys did not take their eyes off each other. That's right, the power Kakarot had obtained with the help of the Source of the Demons in the place of Akio had helped him a lot with this great battle. Both guys were exchanging blows while the other guy, was known as the Destroyer, was only watching how the battle was going. Chasing out those insects for now is in vain, since they're moving at an incredible speed. They even seem to teleport, so we just have to play with this guy. Kakarot and Yespir would continue fighting. Both were very evenly matched. However, Goku, having the blood of a Super Saiyan Goddess Destroyer, his body regenerated from every damage, and having the Saiyan cells, the Zenkais he was getting were becoming brutal. So much so that he was even starting to have a little advantage over Yespir. This guy's awesome! No matter how much I attack him, his battle level increases instead of decreasing. Jesper, when distracted a little, would be hit by a big blow from Kakarot, who after millions of years had felt a pain worse than death. The Destroyer, realizing this, was going to intervene. However, in his mind, he would hear the voice of the negative creator god, or better known as the killer god.
Do not help him. If he is not capable of ending the life of this simple mortal, he does not deserve to possess the beings of the murderer god.
The Destroyer would obey what his master told him. Meanwhile, on the planet where Daishenka was taking refuge, all the people present would arrive for Mikoshin's help. When Daishenka observed his brother Tsuyokomi, he would be very surprised, as he didn't feel any evil ki flowing from him.
Brother, after so long, is that you?
That's right, little Dai, it's me. Daishenka at that moment would give a little smile, in meaning that he was happy because his brother had returned, but at that moment he observed the king of the most powerful everything mortally wounded. That's right, Daishenka would be very surprised to realize that a being like him had been wounded in such a way. Great priest, is there any medicine of great power in this universe?
No, Naomi-sama. This is the weakest multiverse of all. We do not possess valuable objects or high-level sealing.
With my blood, I'm sure I can recover quickly. What the hell are you saying? How is the king of the most powerful everything supposed to drink the blood of a simple goddess? Don't worry, Naomi. She is Kakarot's mother as far as I can tell. If Kakarot possessed such regeneration, it must be because of his mother. Sirius, in a vase that the great priest would have given him, he put a great part of his blood. The moment that the powerful Ryoma would drink it, his wound would close immediately. That's right, at that moment, lightning, fireballs, and even tremors began to fall over the place. The blood of Sirius not only had healed the wounds of Ryoma's body, it had also awakened a new power, which Ryoma had dormant. At the moment that all the roar calmed down, it would be observed that Ryoma, which had not changed anything physically, but his power at this moment was overwhelming. Thank you very much. With this power, I'm sure I can save Kakarot.
Let me help you. My son is giving all his in the battlefield, and I don't want to leave him alone.
I know how you must feel, but don't be distressed. I'll see to it that Kakarot returns safe and sound. In fact, we both will. This battle has been won, but the war has just begun. Ryoma, with his ghostly steps, began to run around the universe. That's right, the steps that Ryoma took through space-time even surpassed the flight speed of a priest or guardian angel. Meanwhile, with Kakarot, he was dominating the battle completely. That's right, however, at that moment, Jesper would give a big laugh. Ha 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 ha!
Miserable mortal, your power is amazing, but I still have an ace up my sleeve, and which will be able to give me the victory in this battle.
Jesper at that moment would begin to transform, increasing his size a few times. A strong explosion would even make Kakarot go back a little. He didn't expect that sudden increase in power. When all the smoke of the explosion ended, a big dragon would be seen. Kakarot would be a little surprised, but he'd say to himself, with that big size, it must be slow, so I'll finish with it quickly. My power's about to fade. I can't do anything. Dying is not an alternative. Kakarot would quickly throw himself towards the giant dragon, giving it a shrapnel of fists. However, the skin of that beast was as hard as diamond.
Don't think that because of my size I'm slow or I don't have stamina. My stamina was multiplied 100 times more at my speed. Well, find out for yourself.
Jesper at that moment would be able to give a great blow to Kakarot, which would make him spit blood. Kakarot would fall to a very close planet, but the power would be so much that even made him crawl through some mountains that were in his path. Kakarot would stand up quickly, but the blow from before had left him very badly injured. He even observed his enemy blurred. Damn, his speed and physical strength increased in an unreal way. After all, it seems that my death will be in this place.
Well, well. Apparently that guy doesn't have enough power to face Jesper. This battle ends here.
Jesper would begin to charge a great sphere of destruction, with which he had planned to finish the life of Kakarot. Kakarot, without saying behind, would begin to charge a powerful sphere of energy in the same way. At the moment both attacks collided with each other, they began to destroy a few planets that remained around them.
However, it would be observed that Jesper had total advantage. Damn it! This bastard's going to end my life! Of course not. That won't happen as long as I, the mighty Ryoma, am alive. At that moment, Ryoma would give a thunder of his fingers, making both attacks disappear, leaving everyone surprised since no one noticed his arrival. How the hell was he able to save that guy without me noticing his arrival? This is impressive. After all, he must call himself the king of the most powerful everything. Damn you! How dare you get in my hunt? I swear I'll kill you. Jesper would start moving towards Ryoma at a great speed, but Ryoma at a much more surprising speed was able to give him a great blow, which would leave him out of combat. You're no match for me, so you'd better resign yourself. The Destroyer at that moment was going to pounce against Ryoma, however, Ryoma at that moment would create a large sphere of energy, which at the time of exploding would make everyone present to be without any vision for about 3 minutes, in which Ryoma had enough time to escape along with Kakarot, which had been out of combat and returned to its base state. Meanwhile, with the others, everyone had realized that the clash of their fists and energies had ended. Ryoma, did I make it in time? I don't know, dear, but the only thing we could do is to trust him. At that moment, Ryoma would appear in front of everyone with the body of Kakarot. Cirrus would observe him in that condition and would be very surprised since even she, with her regeneration, would have died with the first clash of those fists. I proudly say that after all, my son is a legendary Saiyan of the legend. Or rather, my son is Kakarot, the Super Saiyan Infinity. Everyone began to treat Kakarot, who was on the verge of death, even their hearts were not pumping blood properly. Without anyone noticing, Akio would stand up and go towards him, releasing a surprising power. Great Kakarot, because of me, you're in this state. I'll give my life for you. Akio, at the moment of releasing his power to the maximum, would begin to direct it all towards Kakarot. At that moment that Mikoshin realized this, he would call everyone, especially Ryoma and Naomi, which were the most powerful of that place. Ryoma was observing what Akio was doing, would stand next to him and in the same way begin to send a great part of his ki to the body of Kakarot. Akio, after 1500 years, will not see again without hatred and grudges. I'll not let you die. I'll help you so that Kakarot recovers. You must not do it alone. Ryoma, I'm really sorry, it wasn't me. A damned god of death took over me, and after losing with you in that training battle. I know, Akio. You don't have to explain yourself to me. I always knew it wasn't you. A great golden energy began to run through the whole body of Kakarot. That's right, Kakarot's body was accepting all the power that both were transmitting. At that moment, Bardock would transform into the Super Saiyan God Killer, and in the same way would begin to transmit a part of his energy. Meanwhile, in the battlefield, the Destroyer had taken Jesper, leaving the place where they can regroup. That's not the Ryoma we knew about. His power, speed, and resistance all increased in an amazing way. What did he do in that short period of time? Returning to everyone, Kakarot's body had been filled with all the energy of the three beings that had transmitted to them. Kakarot's body was stable. The only thing he needed now was to rest. With Kakarot and Bardock, I'm sure that we'll finally finish the God Killer, so be prepared. Kakarot at that moment would give a loud scream and begin to raise his power in an uncontrolled way. Kakarot was releasing an impressive power. So much was his power that even the Destroyer was able to feel all this bestial power. This king is of that Saiyan, but what happened with Ryoma is happening in a matter of a few hours. He increased his power in an unbridled way. The Destroyer would go to one of the minor universes of that multiverse. That's right, the Destroyer wanted to know what was happening in the multiverse and how those two great warriors increased even more their level. Meanwhile, the whole universe would continue shaking.
That's right, the power of Kakarot would be so much that not only that multiverse was being affected, all the multiverses were in absolute chaos. In a very distant place, the pressure of that power had been felt by a particular subject. Well, well, who is the being emitting all that power? It has interrupted my dream. At that moment, a being of human appearance would stand up. However, at that moment of doing so, everyone around him would begin to tremble in an impressive way. That's right, the power of this being was giving off was 1,000 times more than that of the power of Kakarot. However, before his ki is perceived by others, he would quickly diminish it. I'll wait for the owner of that power to come to me, and then I'll annihilate him. Returning to Kakarot and the others, Kakarot had accessed even the Super Saiyan Infinity. That's right, Kakarot had released so much power that he had accessed his most powerful transformation. Is that all of Kakarot's power? His power doesn't compare to what he fought with me. Was he holding back? No, of course not. Kakarot's power is in this last battle increased too much. Kakarot would again return to his base state and fall unconscious. This is very strange. Kakarot-sama's power seems to be from another dimension. The gods of death must have already felt our ki. We better leave this place. The king of everything, Akio's absolutely right. It's better to move away as far as we can until we're all able to fight, because we will need Kakarot's help. Naomi's right. It'll be better to leave this place. They all started to leave that place to a much safer place, but what nobody knew was that the place where they were going, there's a being that even the gods of death and the negative creator god avoid facing. After a few days of travel in which they all believed that they were far away from the universe where they were, they all took refuge in an inhospitable planet, in which they began to train to increase their powers in a better way. Meanwhile, a being was watching them from afar. So much was his power that no being in that place was allowed to be able to see it. Apparently, one of the subjects of that place is responsible for the power that was felt a few months ago. Jamura would continue observing them for approximately 2 months, in which the Saiyan Kakarot was still out of combat for the brutal battle he had. Meanwhile, with Jesper and the Destroyer, both were looking for all the warriors, especially Ryoma, since for the seal of the god assassin to weaken in its majority, they had to finish with Ryoma's life, or leave him out of combat for approximately 2 months and what the seal takes to undo. Damn it, Ryoma! I swear I'll return the blow you gave me. I promise on my life that the next time I see you, I'll end your existence myself. I think that'll be impossible for you. The speed with which Ryoma arrived to the battlefield was so fast that it even surpassed my perception. Jesper would swallow all his pride, knowing that the only one who could face him a little would be the Destroyer, the first god of death. Meanwhile, with Jamura, he had observed them for 2 months and a week, in which he had decided to appear before all the warriors. In that moment, the whole planet began to suffer great damage. It seemed that the god had arrived, since the pressure felt was of another level. Now what is happening? A new enemy? At that moment, they all observed how a being was walking towards them. That's right, it was Jamura, who was very confident of his power. Stop, and tell us who you are! Jamura would stop, however he wouldn't answer Mikoshin's question. Damn you! My sister asked you who you are. Do you want to die? Do you have enough power to at least make me bleed a little? Tsuyokomi, annoyed by what Jamura said, quickly rushed against the guy. However, Tsuyokomi had been paralyzed just by looking at that guy in the eyes. I only used 30% of my visual power, and you're thinking of ending my life? You poor worm. Jamura would continue walking towards all the others. At that moment, they all launched into the attack, however, everything seemed slower than normal. That's right, Jamura's visual power will not allow them to move freely. Akio! Bardock! Oh, what we've been training for the past few months! Of course we have! Divine Resonance! Supreme Saiyan King! The 3 beings had executed a union technique, but it was far superior to a fusion due to the fact that the 3 multiplied 100 times their powers. No power stayed in one body. The 3 warriors were able to get rid of Jamura's visual power, being able to direct a blow with all their power. However, Jamura would dodge the 3 blows with an extreme elegance. That's right, Jamura seemed that he had not moved from the same place. Bardock, Akio, and Ryoma, annoyed, began with their attack, being completely in vain. Since each of them was dodged, Bardock would take distance and support them with large spheres of energy so that he would not be able to have a free point. So they think that if they corner me, they'll be able to do something to me. Well, I'll play their game. Jamura would begin to fight with both subjects, while dodging the energy spheres of Bardock with an impressive precision. At that moment, Jamura was able to grant a great blow to Akio, which, despite being with his defense to the maximum, was not able to block a sneaky blow which made him crash into a planet, causing a great havoc. In the seconds that Akio had fallen to the planet and was recovering, Jamura would take the opportunity to give a flurry of blows to the most powerful being in the multiverse. That's right, Jamura was giving the beating of his life to Ryoma. At that moment, Mikoshin, Towa, Daishinkan, and Naomi rushed against that subject. However, not having the overwhelming power that the three subjects possessed, Jamura, only with the pressure of his ki, had left them out of combat. Well, if there are any insects in this place, no one's worthy of my power. At that moment, Ryoma, Akio, and Bardock would once again face that guy. That's right, the trio of warriors would not give up. For the pride of the emblematic Saiyan race, I swear to exterminate you and put an end to your reign. I want to see if you could do it, simple Saiyans. Jamura would raise his power to 15%, leaving everyone surprised, who believed that this guy was already fighting seriously. After about 5 minutes of battle, the three most powerful warriors of that place had fallen at the hands of Jamura. You're not worth it. I mistook you for someone else. But don't get in the way in this universe. I'm doing you a favor. I'll annihilate you without feeling any pain. Jamura had charged a great sphere of energy in a matter of seconds, throwing it to the planet where no warrior was able to do anything before that great power. However, in the same instant, a power would shake the entire universe again. That's the key that I felt 3 months ago. Where is it? At that moment, Jamura was very confused, not knowing where the power came from. At that moment, all his great energy had disappeared, or rather Kakarot, at a supreme speed, had been able to reduce and control it only in the palm of his hand. At that moment, Kakarot would destroy all the energy of that subject. Who the hell are you? How were you able to stop my attack? Flashback. Cirrus was with Kakarot, who hadn't reacted in about 3 months. My son, please! My little Kakarot, save us one more time! We trust you! We're not able to do anything against that guy! Help us! Kakarot at that moment would open his eyes, passing directly to the Ultra Instinct maximum power. But something to differentiate was the power he had obtained now, since his power did not compare with the power he possessed 3 months ago. Kakarot at an incredible speed would stand in front of that great attack and would say to himself, "Don't worry about me. As long as I live, as long as this body has energy, I'll never let anything happen to you." And a flashback. Jamura would be very surprised to realize that that guy had destroyed all his energy with 2 simple fingers. Who the hell are you? Where did you come from? You don't care about that. The only thing you should know is that I'll finish you off. Kakarot and Ultra Instinct Maximum Power would be launched against that subject. That's right, the power he had obtained from the demonic source had not been lost, only had been purified. Now, part of the body of Kakarot at a flashing speed would begin to exchange blows with that subject. Jamura, to block one of his blows, would notice that his arms were trembling due to the power that Kakarot exerted. There had never been a being other than the murderer god that forced me to use more than 15% of my power. Jamura at that moment would increase his power to 25%, believing that it was enough. However, Kakarot would show him the opposite. That's right, Kakarot exceeded even 25% of Jamura's power, leaving him surprised. Kakarot would not allow Jamura to raise his power much more, giving him a beating. Jamura would create an explosion, being able to move Kakarot away from him. Jamura at that moment would increase his power to 45% of all his power, with which he would be able to put in trouble the powerful Kakarot. Meanwhile, with Ryoma, Akio, and Bardock, the 3 subjects were watching the battle very surprised. My son's really surpassed the gods by becoming an extremely powerful being. I can't believe it. I can't believe that before I surpassed his power. I'm so proud of Kakarot. Everyone would continue to watch the battle, in which Jamura would take himself much more seriously, releasing 60% of all his power, being able to knock out Kakarot Saiyan. That's right, but something that Jamura did not know was that Kakarot had not used the Super Saiyan Infinity. Jamura would take Kakarot and take him to all his relatives. I'm very sorry for trying to kill you. The being that protects you is very impressive, being that has earned all my respect. I introduce myself. My name is Jamura. At that moment, Ryoma would step forward. I don't know why you wanted to kill us, but we excuse you because at this very moment you could kill us. My name is Ryoma, and I'm the king of the most powerful everything. So, the king of the most powerful everything. From what I understand, the gods of death are looking for your head for the rebirth of the negative creator god. I can see that you're aware of everything. That's right. Become more powerful. Soon, I'll come for you. Jamura in a flash would leave at a great speed. Jamura had left the whole place, leaving everyone else surprised because Kakarot was able to cope with a being whose power had exceeded the power of a creator god. However, Kakarot, by not mastering all that power, had been out of combat by excess energy. Meanwhile, in a dimension very different from the others, the negative creator god named Nakumi was very thoughtful, knowing that his end was near. Hell, if the destroyers are not able to end the life of that annoying Saiyan and give me to drink his blood, I'll die. No matter that I am the most powerful creator god, the attack to that damn male was deadly. I have no more than 2 years to live. At that moment, in a faraway planet were both destroyers, who were devising the perfect plan to end the life of Kakarot, the king of the most powerful of all multiverses. Why don't we attack them now, once and for all? If we catch them off guard, I'm sure they won't be able to react. Your idea is very good, but if something goes wrong, this time we'll both be annihilated. The power of those guys must have increased a lot more. In that case, we'll have to use the demonic union. I hate to use that method, but if you don't do it, we'll die anyway, so we have no other choice. I hope you're ready. Of course I'm ready. At that moment, the body, essence, and power of both beings began to mix and unite, giving birth to a new being. However, while both were united, the power they gave off was so much that hundreds of thousands of planets of the other multiverses were being destroyed by the simple pressure that released their bodies. The power was so much that it even reacted to where the kings were located. So those wretches are ready to die. They won't be able to face us. Kakarot, you're the most powerful being in this place. So this time I want to be that one to face that guy. I need real battles to increase my power even more. Of course, Ryoma. No problem. This time I'll be only a spectator. After a great explosion that was able to be observed by all the multiverses at the speed of lightning, a new subject had appeared in front of all the warriors. I am the Angel of Death, and this time I will finish with each of you. No matter how many you join to face me, you will be defeated. In that instant, Ryoma, at an incredible speed, would send the subject to fly without losing a second, would begin to give him a beating, which the Angel of Death felt in agonizing pain as Ryoma was using destructive energy to each of his fists, causing great damage. At that moment, the Angel of Death was able to materialize a claw from his aura, which at the time was touching the aura of Ryoma, would be pulverized. Damn, I thought you'd be much more powerful of a being. But you don't have the necessary power to face me. You're just another worm. In that instant, the Angel of Death, who had never been humiliated in this way, would increase his power to the maximum. I must admit that you're an extremely amazing subject, but your power is no comparison with mine. Now I will finish you, damned one. The Angel of Death at lightning speed would begin to give him a shrapnel of blows to Ryoma, which seemed to be that he was not able to defend himself. But at the moment of the angel to connect his last blow, a gigantic explosion would be created all over that place. I didn't think that kid's trick would work with you. I just created a clone with my energy, and more blows you gave him, he was charging with energy until I exploded. Damn it. No matter what trick you use, you'll never be a worthy opponent. Again, both subjects began to exchange blows at an astonishing speed, leaving everyone amazed by the power that Ryoma had achieved in this short period of time. King Ryoma-sama has demonstrated that his ability to increase his power is incredible. I agree with you, Naomi. Even though I trained with him, my power has not grown in that incredible way.
You should be called the most powerful king of everything in all the multiverses.
However, Kakarot was watching everything that had happened with a big smile in his eyes. My son, what's wrong? Something wrong, or are you just enjoying this battle? No, Mother, don't worry. I find it very interesting the way Ryoma's fighting. He's ejecting destructive energy and then blowing him to pieces. From what I understand, millions of years ago, Ryoma was the most bloodthirsty and ruthless king of all time. Apparently, he has not been a simple legend, since the show that we are about to present will be a marvel. Meanwhile, with Takumi, he was very worried, knowing that the fusion of both gods of death lost. He would do the same, and he would not only intervene in that world, his brother left him sealed in that dimension, and the only way he was able to get out was overcoming the power of an original creator god. But for this, he needed the king of the most powerful everything to die to weaken the seal and the blood of the Super Saiyan Infinity to be able to overcome all the barriers of his power. Well, it seems that today will be the end of me, because if I don't defeat them, I won't be able to leave this miserable place. Turning to the battle, Ryoma was putting in great trouble the fusion of the Angels of Death, which this time were not able to do anything against the king of the most powerful everything. After 23 more minutes of battle, Ryoma would take the battle much more seriously, beginning to cause much more damage to the fusion, which was not able to do anything. However, at that moment, an extremely gigantic power of the Angels of Death, which was not capable of doing anything, at that moment, an extremely gigantic power which would enter the Angel of Death's body, managing to connect a strong blow to Ryoma, which would make him spit a large amount of blood. However, at that moment, the Angel of Death was releasing an extremely incredible power, being able to even make everything around him rumble. Kakarot at that moment would put a very serious look. The key of that guy has changed completely. It seems that a new being in his body. This is his body that I was able to end the life of this wretch. That's right, the negative creator god had been able to dominate the body of the fusion, managing to use the last reserves of energy. Ouch! That hurt me. I didn't think you had such an amazing power. You're completely wrong. I'm the negative creator god, and at this moment, I plan to end your miserable existence to be able to free myself. Takumi in that instant would take the head of Ryoma, starting to destroy everything around him without any difficulty. Ryoma on this occasion was not able to do anything against Takumi, which surprised his power by dozens of times. Ryoma was receiving an incredible beating, being completely wounded and falling to the ground on the verge of death. Even though you're the most powerful king of everything, you won't be able to defeat me. I'm a creator god. My power exceeds your limit. At that moment, when Takumi was inches away from stabbing his hand into Ryoma's heart, Kakarot would hold his hand tightly. No matter who the hell you are, I'll not allow you to kill anyone else. You better be prepared, because now I'll be your opponent. Kakarot at that moment would surpass the Ultra Instinct maximum power, with which he would begin to exchange blows at an amazing speed. However, in the same way, Kakarot was a little overcome by the power of Takumi, which on this occasion was able to erase multiverses with just one of his blows. Your blows are capable of erasing multiverses, but not a Saiyan. Although I must admit you have a great power, but how about this? Kakarot at that moment would begin to increase a great part of his power. That's right, Kakarot was accessing the Super Saiyan Infinity, which released an amazing power, being so much that the power he felt would reach the planet of Jamura, who was observing the battle of both warriors. This is the same guy I fought with? The power he's releasing this time's amazing. Can't believe it. It compares to 92% of all my power. Kakarot with a great explosion would appear with his most powerful transformation. But this time the power he was releasing was extremely unreal. At that moment, at lightning speed, both began to exchange blows at an amazing speed. Being so fast, they were even fighting through the multiverses. Nobody at the present were able to observe anything. The only one who was able to keep up with them was Jamura, which was a being that surpassed even the power of the creator gods.
When this battle's over, I want to fight with that Saiyan. I want to know who is more powerful, me or him.
The battle between the two deities that surpassed the power of kings was incredible.
And I can't believe it! To think that Kakarot's power had surpassed any limit whatsoever. Well. Apparently this is the limit of your power. You're not worthy of using all my power against you, you damn worm.
Kakarot at that moment began to give him a beating, and a dragon attack would be able to leave him on the verge of death.
This is impossible. A creator god being defeated by a mere mortal? What kind of joke is this?
Kakarot at that moment would approach Takumi and stare at him.
You were never a challenge for me. I only used 45% of all my power.
At that moment, Kakarot would throw a great sphere of energy against Takumi, which would be reduced to simple atoms. And with this, the essence of all the negative creator god had been eliminated from all the multiverses.
My little Kakarot, he's done it! He was able to finish the life of that creator god.
Kakarot, you're the most powerful warrior that I could meet on my path.
Kakarot, you and I were enemies in the beginning, but now I consider you as my brother.
However, at that moment, even greater pressure than that was the creator god Takumi would appear in all over that place, leaving everyone surprised, even Kakarot.
This power is amazing! It even surpasses Takumi's power with ease.
At that moment, Jamura had appeared in front of everyone.
You saying I want to have a battle with you and use all your maximum powers.
But if you're Jamura, of course we will. You're a worthy opponent of all my power.
At that moment, the power of both subjects was increasing in an amazing way, being so much that in this occasion, catastrophes all over the multiverse were occurring. That's right, this time everything seemed to be eliminated by just one of their blows. At the first impact of their blows, after a few minutes of battle in which both warriors had received the worst of each one of them, both would fall to the ground at that moment, out of combat.
My son has been able to equal a being which surpasses a creator god.
At that event, hundreds of years had passed in which all the kings of everything at that time were the protectors of all the multiverses and beings of great powers. In some situations, Kakarot had to intervene because beings of great powers were responsible for wanting to destroy some universes. Kakarot with these warriors used his most powerful transformation. Kakarot accessed the Super Saiyan Infinity, with which he was able to defeat any being of any universe. In all the multiverses, the Infinity power was the symbol of respect, and so Kakarot was the protector of even the different dimensions and multiverses. Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.